Baker and the Ravens. That's our Thursday night game. Are we having Baker Mayfield a bust conversation? The one thing, like I told you when we talked about this game this week, teams with brand new coaches, brand new coordinators, week one without a preseason. I saw Richard Sherman said on Sunday after the game, preseason's a joke. Like, it doesn't matter. But
he said today. He said after the game
after
tonight.
the game. Someone's like, did not having a preseason game affect things? He's like, no. This is what I'll say for the Browns, who I picked against, and I had the Ravens to cover. Maybe the Ravens were one of the best teams in the NFL last year. So maybe does the Browns not being ready, does Baker not being ready for the Ravens mean that they're going to stink? No, I would say no.
It does not, but I do think in fairness, when you look at the Browns, they drafted this guy number 1 overall. He was the number 1 overall pick. But guy, it would have been insane if they would have taken Lamar Jackson, but Lamar Jackson wasn't that draft. Josh Allen wasn't that draft.
Lamar Jackson's lucky the Browns didn't take him.
Listen, we'll get into Sam Darnold a little later. I think Sam Darnold's better than Baker Mayfield. I watched Baker Mayfield, and I tweeted this out today because it's driving me nuts. I talked about it with Deshaun Watson. When he puts his head down in the pocket, you can't look down. Either throw the ball away or get rid of it. Now, Deshaun adds a running element. I watch Baker Mayfield. He thinks he's playing Iowa State. Baker, the slowest defensive lineman, the fattest motherfucker for the Ravens, is going to catch you. You're the worst athlete. Every time you guys step on the field, you're at 11 guys and they're 11 guys. You are the worst athlete on this field. In a game like the Ravens, honestly, of the 22 guys, it might be by a wide margin. And this is relative. You're relative to Haberman or Middlecoff.
Right,
yeah,
right.
You're relative to the guys Wink Martindale's rolling out. And obviously the guys on your team are freak athletes. You're a terrible athlete relative to the other guys on the field. Like, I got Dak on the TV. Like, he can move around. Deshaun can move around. Russell can move around. Baker can't move around. I'm watching Drew Brees. You know what Drew Brees does? If the ball's not there, he throws it away or hits the ground. Baker, tries to keep these plays alive, and these defensive linemen just destroy him. I think he's, got a false sense of who he is. Isn't the number one thing you should do, and Belichick talked about this on, when he did that top 100. He's like, football, I think people overcomplicate stuff. You want to have your good players do things they're good at, and then the guys that have flaws, don't ask them to do the things they're not good at, right? And when you approach it from a game plan standpoint, you want to exploit the team's weakness, and you want to try to avoid what their strengths are. Like, Baker, stop running. I love Baker Mayfield coming out of Oklahoma, but my comp was Drew Brees. Even watching Gardner Minshew, he knows who he is. I don't think Baker knows who he is. And it's clearly, I'll give him credit. I've seen pictures. He looks way skinnier. I do think he attacked this offseason differently. But there's just a physical skill set on the field that I just what are you doing? They had 6 points today. 6.
I know.
6. Odell Beckham had 3 catches for 22 yards.
What did Nick Chubb have? 10 carries? 10 touches?
He had 10 carries for 60 yards. He actually had a pretty good game.
I did hear one thing before the game when the NFL Network was doing their kind of whip around, was the Ravens have not forgotten the last time this game happened here. Nick Chubb went off on them. They are blah, blah. When I heard that, I was like, I picked the Ravens as it was, but I love the Ravens now, and they were great.
You're like, I didn't know that. I didn't know they were pissed off.
Yeah, I didn't know they were pissed off from week 4, 2019. You know how much stuff's happened since week 4, 2019? How can they still be pissed off about that? But they were, apparently.
Well, that's the problem. I saw Baker Mayfield after the game said, this is going to serve as a wake-up call. And I saw everyone respond wake-up call? Baker, our fucking coaches got fired. We've been the shittiest franchise in the league well before you got here. And since you've been here, you were around Hugh Jackson. How many wake-up calls do you need? You just say, I just got my ass kicked. Well, wake-up call? Did the Niners get a wake-up call today, or they just got beat?
They got beat, yeah.
It's okay to get beat, but a wake-up call? And maybe Baker's just bad at – he leads the league right now just saying dumb things. I don't think he even means it that way.
Yeah, that's where I hesitate to jump all over guys.
Yeah, what's he supposed to be like? I'm starting to question myself. Should I have been the 5th player taken in my draft?
It's better to say it's a wake-up call.
Josh Rosen better than me?
Than we were ready to play.
Yeah,
I got beat by 32.
But here's the thing with the Browns, right? This is not one of those teams where he went, he's playing with just an empty clip in his gun.
Exactly.
He's taking a machete to a fight, or a dull knife with a bunch of machine guns. It goes, Guy, they got a lot of talent. You got Nick Chubb and you have Kareem Hunt. You have Odell Beckham and you have Jarvis Landry. You have Austin Hooper and Njoku. You have increased offensive linemen. Like, what else do you need? You want Jerry Rice to come out of retirement for you? That's my problem with Baker. I'm trying not to overreact. And listen, I am subject to some hyperbole every once in a while. I'll be the first to admit it. I do think he's trending in a terrible direction, guy. Like, I'm not trying to overreact here, but the word gets thrown out quickly. But when you're the number 1 overall pick and it's heading in a bad direction quick. Would you agree there?
Yeah, and part of it is because of everything all the players are around him that you just listed. That unlike let's talk. We were going to talk about these guys separately, but let's include Josh Allen and Sam Darnold. We know who the best quarterback from the 2018 first round is. It's Lamar. Lamar Jackson. Okay. We know who the worst is. It's Josh Rosen. The question is who's 2, 3, and 4. And right now, I would have Josh Allen 2, Sam Darnold 3, Baker Mayfield 4. I would have Josh Allen ahead of Sam Darnold. I know there was a lot of this on Twitter Sunday, which was like Darnold has no weapons, no offensive line, and a bad coach. And all that might be true. But it already feels to me after 1 week of the season, we're going to get to the end of the year going, well, maybe year 4 is the year that Sam Darnold puts it all together. And again, it might not be his fault, but I think Josh Allen, because his team is good, and unlike Baker, he's got talent around him and it's working. Now
he can run too.
And also, unlike Baker and Darnold, he's playing for a stable franchise right now, and the same head coach is his first. It's crazy. I mean,
he's a really good athlete, guy.
But he would be 2 right now. Darnold would be 3. Yeah, and Baker would be 4. Agree? Or would you have
Rosen, who sat in the stands today and watched the game?
He traveled though. Good sign.
I would have Lamar solidified at 1. I'd have Josh Allen as a clear 2. I mean, a clear 2.
Yep.
Because he's a great fantasy player. I've been reading all this stuff. Like, he's really good. And then I played him. I'm like, God, he can score you touchdowns with his legs. He's got a really explosive arm. Now, he will airmail a throw or 2. There was a play.
He's like the quarterback version of DK.
Yeah. I'd even say, what DK might be in like a year or 2. Like, DK is always going to drop some balls, but as he gets better, he's going to be. Josh Allen's still a really good player. Sam Darnold just, if you were trying to put a grade on him, would it be, what's the term for can't be completed or not enough information or,
NA?
Yeah, I don't have enough information available, but it's not unlike Baker. If Sam was playing with all these great players, I think he would be highly criticized. I do think people give him guy. He's playing with fucking Le'Veon Bell, who's slow as you, and he didn't even make it through the game. He just had a wide
Crowder?
Guy, he just had a wide receiver get cut because he was stealing PPP loans. And it wasn't just, how much he steal? Like $1,000? $24 million in PPP loans.
To his credit, he went big.
One of his wide receivers stole $24 million in PPP loans.
Did he successfully do it, or did he get $24 million?
Yeah, I think he got a lot of money. I think he got a lot of cash. But it just, part of it is just you get.
I have an investment opportunity for you.
Shitty situation. I recommend the Steve Madden documentary on Netflix. When Steve Madden's shoes originally took off, you know who took them public?
I saw the.
Well, you've seen the movie probably with Leo.
Oh, with Jordan Belfort? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
It was
Jordan Belfort. Somehow knew the guy, reached out to him, took him public.
Yeah.
There's a scene in The Wolf of Wall Street when Leo brings it in.
That's right. That's right.
And he goes, meet Steve Madden. He's like, Steve, tell my guys about your shoes. And they're throwing shit at him about the shoes. And Steve Madden, the actual Steve Madden, told the story. He's like, yeah, they actually did it. He's like, I didn't talk to him for the movie. He's like, that scene was pretty right. He's like, I got great shoes. Here are my shoes. He's getting booed and they're throwing shit. And then Leo comes on. He's like, sell the shit out of Steve Madden. And Steve's like this. He's like, that's kind of the way it happened. But then Steve also went to jail because you just watch the show. It's really good.
Okay, yeah.
It's like an hour documentary. Steve Madden's kind of a crazy asshole. But yeah, I mean,
so excuses are legit for Sam, but they're not good. It's going to be really hard for him to have a good year.
Do you think that Adam Gase makes it through the season? Because I would bet probably he gets fired as the season goes on.
Yeah, who else they got on that staff?
Yeah, I mean, they got what's his name? He's turned down 1 million jobs. Remember, Greg Williams? They
He's
wanted
just
to hire
always. Oh, you're right, the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper. Of course
So,
he's getting fired during the year.
Yeah, I would imagine that he'll be the interim coach for the last 8 games.
Let's see here.
Who do the Niners play this week? The Jets or the Giants? They play the Jets,
Jets.
Right? They play the Jets.
We got Dowell Loggins, not going to be the head coach. I think we've done this before.
Would you
they got
be shell
former
shocked?
Bulldog offensive line coach Derek Frazier on the staff, Fresno State.
Assistant offensive line coach.
They got former OC. Remember when this guy Jim Bob Cooter on the staff?
Yep. I remember him, Tennessee.
Wasn't he the Lions offensive coordinator?
Yep, Jim Bob Cooter. They got a DUI.
That's right. They got Joe Vitt. Didn't Joe take over for Sean Payton for a year?
Yep, when Sean Payton got suspended. They got some names on the staff.
They got Mac Brown. Related?
No, but he won this weekend.
No. But is this guy related to Mac? His name is Mac Brown. Is it Mac Brown Jr. or is it just
That's a
Mac
good question.
Brown?
I don't know.
I don't think it's any relation. So anyway, yeah, Greg Williams. Yeah, they're a mess.
Well,
I feel for Sam. Baker's
we
getting
didn't
a lot of
hit the
opportunity.
panic button on the Niners. They should kill the Jets because the Jets should really how are the Jets going to score on the Niners?
Yeah.